The year was 2187. Earth was running out of space and resources. The world leaders had come together and built 5 huge ships to take people to new planets. The biggest ship was called New Dawn. Tay sat by the window in his small room on the New Dawn. He was 12 years old with dark skin and bright, curious eyes. He watched the stars zoom by as the ship traveled through space. Earth was now just a tiny blue dot far behind them. "Ta, did you pack your study tablet?" His mother, Dr. Han, called from the doorway. She was tall and slim with short black hair. Her job was to study alien plants and animals they might find. "Yes, Mom." "Everything's ready," Ta said, pointing to his small bag on the bed. Dr. Han smiled. "Your father and I have the night shift in the engine room. Don't stay up too late watching the stars." Tai was one of only 50 children on the New Dawn. Most of the 5,000 people on board were scientists, doctors, engineers, and soldiers. Everyone had a job. Everyone was important. That's why Tai felt lucky to be there. His parents were both very smart, and he had passed all the tests to join the mission. In the ship's school the next day, Teacher Song was explaining their mission. "We will reach the planet Goldilocks in about 3 more months," she said, pointing to a green and blue planet on the screen. "It's called Goldilocks because it's not too hot, not too cold, but just right for humans to live on." Tai raised his hand. "Will there be aliens there?" Some kids laughed, but Teacher Song didn't smile. "We don't know, Ta. That's why we're being very careful. We have sensors scanning for any signs of life or technology." After class, Ta met with his best friend, Nai. She was 11 and very good with computers. "I heard some crew members talking about strange signals," Mai whispered as they walked to the dining hall. "They said something's out there. Probably just space rocks," Ta said, but he felt excited. What if they were about to make the biggest discovery in human history? That night, Tai couldn't sleep. He was thinking about new planets and aliens when a loud alarm started blaring. Red lights flashed in his room. The ship's computer voice spoke calmly. "All passengers, please report to your emergency stations. This is not a drill." Tai jumped out of bed. He had practiced the emergency drills many times. He grabbed his emergency pack and ran to the door. The hallway was full of people running and shouting. Something was very wrong. "Ta." It was his father, Engineer Kim. He looked worried. "Come with me. Your mother is already at the command center." As they hurried through the crowded corridors, Ta felt the ship shake. He almost fell, but his father caught him. "What's happening?" Ta asked. "We've hit some kind of energy field," his father explained as they ran. "It's pulling us off course." When they reached the command center, it was chaos. The ship's captain, Captain Ba, was giving orders. Screens showed red warning signs. Through the big front window, Tai saw a strange purple light surrounding the ship. Dr. Han was working at a computer. She looked up when they entered and waved them over. "The energy field is like nothing we've ever seen," she told Engineer Kim. "It's changing our direction. We're being pulled toward an unknown planet." Captain Ba's voice boomed over the noise. "All engineers to the engine room. We need to break free from this field." Engineer Kim hugged Ta quickly. "Stay with your mother. I'll be back soon." But he wasn't back soon. The ship kept shaking more and more violently. Dr. Han tried to keep Ta calm, but he could see the fear in her eyes. "The engine room is reporting critical damage," someone shouted. Captain Ba looked grim. "Prepare for emergency landing procedures. Send out a distress signal to Earth." Dr. Han knelt in front of Ta. "Listen carefully. You need to go to the escape pods with the other children. Teacher Song will be there." "But what about you?" Tai asked, his voice shaking. "I need to help coordinate the landing. I'll find you after we land," she promised. She hugged him tight and then pushed him toward the door. "Go now." Tai ran to the escape pod area. Many children were already there with Teacher Song and a few other adults. Mai waved to him from one of the pods. "Where are your parents?" Mai asked when he sat beside her. "Helping with the landing," Ta said. He didn't want to think about how dangerous it was in the engine room and command center right now. The ship was falling fast. Through the small window in the escape pod, Tai could see a planet getting closer and closer. It wasn't Goldilocks. This planet had purple skies and strange, tall structures on its surface. "Brace for impact," Teacher Song shouted. The crash was terrible. The escape pod bounced and rattled. Children screamed. Tai hit his head on something hard, and everything went dark. When Tai woke up, his head hurt. The escape pod door was open. Outside, it was daytime with purple light filtering through strange, tall trees. "You're awake," Mai said, sitting next to him. "We've been waiting for you." Tai sat up slowly. "Where are we? Where is everyone?" Mai helped him stand. "The adults are setting up a camp. We crashed on an unknown planet." The main ship broke into pieces. Outside the pod, Ta saw about 30 children and 10 adults. They had set up a small camp with supplies from the escape pods. Teacher Song was treating someone's injured arm. "My parents?" Tai asked, looking around desperately. Mai looked down. "They're still looking for survivors from the command center and engine room." For 3 days, Ta helped search through the wreckage. Each day, they found fewer people alive. Many had died in the crash, especially those in the engine room who had tried to save the ship. On the 4th day, they found Engineer Kim's body. Todd cried for hours. The next day, they confirmed that Dr. Han had also died trying to help others escape. Todd was now alone. Nai and Teacher Song tried to comfort him, but nothing helped. He felt empty and lost on this strange purple planet. On the 7th day after the crash, something changed. The survivors were setting up a more permanent camp when they noticed movement in the forest. "Look!" someone shouted, pointing. Tall, thin figures emerged from between the trees. They had pale blue skin and large, dark eyes. They walked on 2 legs and wore silver clothing. They were clearly intelligent beings. "Aliens," Ta whispered. "Real, living aliens." The leader of the human survivors, Dr. Park, stepped forward cautiously. "We come in peace," he said, although he knew the aliens probably couldn't understand him. Surprisingly, the lead alien raised a hand in what seemed like a peaceful gesture. It then pointed to itself and made a sound. "Duri." Dr. Park pointed to himself. "Human." The alien nodded and pointed to the sky, then to the humans, as if asking if they came from space. Dr. Park nodded. Over the next few days, the Duri brought food and supplies to the human camp. They seemed friendly and helpful. They showed the humans where to find clean water and which local fruits were safe to eat. "We're lucky," Teacher Song told the children. "They're helping us survive until Earth can send a rescue mission." But Tai wasn't sure. Sometimes he caught the Duri watching him with strange interest. They seemed especially fascinated by his dark skin, different from the others. They would point and make sounds to each other when they thought he wasn't looking. One day, a month after the crash, the Duri leader came to the camp with many others. They brought large vehicles and pointed to the sky, which was turning dark with storm clouds. "They want us to go with them," Dr. Park explained to everyone. "A big storm is coming. They're offering shelter." The humans had no choice. Their camp wouldn't survive a major storm. They packed their few belongings and boarded the strange Duri vehicles. As they traveled, Ta looked out the window at the purple landscape. He thought about his parents and Earth, both now so far away. He had a strange feeling in his stomach, like something wasn't right. The vehicles took them to a huge city with tall, shining buildings. The Duri led them inside one large dome building. It had rooms for everyone, food and warm beds. "We'll be safe here," Mai said, trying to sound happy. "The Duri are so advanced. They can help us contact Earth." Ta nodded, but he remained quiet. That night, he couldn't sleep. He went to the window and looked at the Duri city. In the distance, he saw something that made his blood run cold. It was the remains of another ship. Not their ship, but different. It looked human-made. We aren't the first humans to come here, Tai realized with shock. And where are those other humans now? He didn't know it yet, but his life and the lives of all the survivors were about to change forever. 10 years had passed since the crash. Tai was now 22 years old. He was tall and strong from years of hard work. His once round face had grown sharp and serious. His dark eyes missed nothing. What the humans first thought was shelter had turned into a prison. The Duri weren't the kind helpers they had pretended to be. They were masters, and the humans were their servants, their test subjects, their pets. Ta woke before dawn, as he did every day. He shared a small room with 3 other men in the human living area. The Duri called it the habitat, but the humans called it the zoo when no Duri could hear them. "Morning, Ta," said Lin, one of his roommates. Lin had been an engineer on the ship. Now he fixed Duri machines. Ta nodded but didn't speak. He had learned to save his words. The Duri didn't like humans who talked too much. They said it showed poor training. After a quick breakfast of bland food cubes, Tay reported for his work assignment. Every day was the same. He would be taken to clean Duri buildings, carry heavy loads, or work in their fields. The Duri thought dark-skinned humans were stronger, so they gave Ta the hardest jobs. Today, he was assigned to the main science building. This was rare and usually meant cleaning the floors and walls. But Ta was secretly happy. The science building was where he learned the most. "You. Follow." The Duri guard pointed at Ta. The guard was tall, over 7 feet, with blue skin that seemed to shimmer in the light. Like all Duri, he had 4 long fingers on each hand and large, dark eyes. Ta followed without a word. He kept his eyes down, looking humble and stupid. That's what the Duri expected. But Ta was far from stupid. Over the years, he had secretly learned the Duri language by listening carefully. He also understood much of their technology from watching them work. In the science building, Tai was given cleaning tools and told to wash the floors in Lab 7. This was new. He had never been allowed in Lab 7 before. As he cleaned, he listened to the Duri scientists talking. They didn't mind speaking freely around him. To them, he was just a dumb animal who couldn't understand them. The female subject responded well to the tests. One scientist said, "Yes, but we need more subjects with her genetic makeup." Another replied, "The problem is, there were only a few like her on the ship." Tai kept his face blank, but his heart beat faster. They were talking about human test subjects. Who was this female? What were they doing to her? Later that day, Ta met Ji at their secret meeting place. Ji had been only 8 when the ship crashed. Now she was 18, thin and quick, with clever hands and a sharp mind. She worked in the food preparation area, which gave her access to different parts of the Duri complex. "Did you find anything?" Ji asked. They always met in a small space between 2 buildings where the Duri cameras couldn't see them. "They're testing on someone in Lab 7, Ta whispered. "A female." Ji's face went pale. "It might be Mai. She was taken 3 days ago. They said she was being moved to a different work area, but no one has seen her." Mai had been Ta's friend since they were children on the ship. His hands tightened into fists. "We need to find out more." "I have something to show you first," Ji said. She pulled out a small device she had hidden in her clothes. It was a Duri data pad, used to store and share information. "Ji, where did you get that?" Tai asked, shocked. Stealing from the Duri was punished by death. One of the scientists left it behind. "I've been hiding it for weeks," Ji said. "I can't read much of their writing, but look at these pictures." She touched the screen, and an image appeared. It showed Earth. Why do they have pictures of Earth? Ta wondered. Ji swiped to the next image. It showed more ships, like their colony ship, but these were different models. Some looked like military ships. "I think these are the other ships we saw crashed when we first arrived," Ji said. I think the Duri have been catching human ships for a long time. But why? Tai asked. Jai looked around nervously and lowered her voice even more. I found something else. A word that appears over and over in their files. Harvester. Tai felt a chill run down his spine. What does it mean? I don't know exactly, but I think. Ji stopped suddenly and shoved the data pad back into her hiding place. Someone's coming. They quickly pretended to be working on fixing a pipe. A Dure guard walked by, looked at them with suspicion, but kept going. Meet me here tomorrow, Jay whispered. I'll try to learn more. But Ji didn't come the next day, or the day after. Tai asked other humans about her, but no one had seen her. She had disappeared, just like Mai. Todd felt alone and afraid, but also angry. The Dure had taken everything from him, his parents, his freedom, and now his friends. He had to do something. For the next month, Todd worked harder than ever. He cleaned so well that the Dure started requesting him specifically for the science building. This gave him more chances to listen and learn. He discovered that the Dure had a special interest in human genetics. They were studying how humans adapted to different environments. They were especially interested in humans with certain genetic traits. One day, while cleaning in a new area, Ta found a door left slightly open. Inside was a small office with a computer terminal. The room was empty. Ta slipped inside. He had watched the Dure use their computers for years. He knew many of their codes and commands. With shaking hands, he touched the screen and began searching for information. What he found made him feel sick. The Dure had been capturing human ships for over 50 years. The New Dawn wasn't the first. There had been at least 5 others before them. The Dure created fake emergencies to lure the ships to their planet. Even worse, Earth had sent rescue missions after the New Dawn disappeared. The Dure have destroyed these ships before they could find the human survivors. But the worst discovery was about Project Harvester. It wasn't just a word. It was the Dure's plan to harvest humans for their genetic material. They wanted to use human adaptability to improve their own species. Tai heard footsteps coming and quickly closed the files. He grabbed his cleaning tools and slipped out of the room just before a Dure scientist returned. That night, Tai couldn't sleep. He kept thinking about what he had learned. The Dure didn't just see humans as animals. They saw them as resources to be used and thrown away. He had to find Ji and Mai. He had to help the other humans. But how? The Dure were stronger, had better technology, and controlled everything. The answer came to him a week later. He was cleaning the administrative building when he overheard 2 Dure officials talking. The human female didn't survive the procedure, one said. Judge Ju won't be happy. We have more subjects, the other replied. The dark-skinned males show the most resilience. Perhaps we should focus on them next. Ta felt rage burning inside him. They were talking about Mei. She was dead because of their experiments. He followed the Dure officials at a distance. They entered a large room that Ta had never seen before. Through the crack in the door, he saw a raised platform with a large chair. It looked like a court. Judge Ju will conduct the tribunal tomorrow, one official said. He wants to make an example of the humans who tried to escape last week. Ta remembered hearing about 3 humans who had tried to run away. They had been caught almost immediately. Now Ta had a plan. It was dangerous, maybe impossible, but he had to try. He needed to get into that tribunal. He needed to face this Judge Ju. The next day, Tai did something he had never done before. He broke the rules on purpose. While cleaning, he accidentally knocked over an expensive Dure device. It shattered on the floor. The Dure guard was furious. You stupid creature, you'll be punished for this. Tai was taken to a holding cell. He sat there, waiting. If his plan worked, he would be brought before Judge Ju's tribunal. If he was wrong, he might be killed immediately. Hours later, a guard came for him. Get up. The tribunal will decide your punishment. Ta was led into the large room he had seen the day before. It was full of Dure officials. At the front, on the raised platform, sat an older Dury with pale blue skin and cold eyes. This had to be Judge Ju. As Tai was pushed to the center of the room, he saw other humans being held along the wall. Among them was Jai. She was alive. She looked thin and tired, but she was alive. Their eyes met briefly, and Ta gave her a small nod. Judge Ju spoke in the Dury language. This human damaged valuable equipment. It shows that some of them are still too wild, too undisciplined. The judge continued talking about how humans needed to be controlled more strictly. He mentioned the 3 humans who had tried to escape. They would be humanely terminated as examples. Then Judge Ju looked directly at Ta. Does this specimen have anything to say before sentencing? It was the moment Tai had been waiting for. His heart pounded in his chest. Everything depended on what he would say next. The large room was silent. All eyes were on Tai as he stood in the center of the tribunal chamber. The Dury officials watched him with cold curiosity. Judge Ju looked down from his high seat with disgust, as if Tai was nothing more than a bug. Well, does the specimen have anything to say? Judge Ju repeated. He didn't expect Tai to understand him. This question was just for show, a fake fairness for the other Dury officials. Todd kept his head down, his body language humble and scared. Inside, his mind was racing. This was his only chance. If he failed, he would die. If he succeeded, well, he might still die. But maybe the truth would come out. The specimen remained silent. Judge Ju said with satisfaction. As expected, these creatures can barely. Project Harvester, Ta said clearly in perfect Dury language. The room went completely still. Judge Ju's blue skin turned pale gray. His large eyes widened in shock. What did you say? He whispered. Tai looked up, meeting the judge's eyes directly. This was against all the rules. Humans were never supposed to make eye contact with the Dury, but Tai was done following their rules. I said, Project Harvester, Tai repeated, still in the Dury language. I know what you've been doing. Judge Ju stood up suddenly. Clear the room, he shouted. Everyone out except security and top officials. The room erupted in confusion. Most Dury left quickly, whispering to each other in shock. The human prisoners along the wall watched with wide eyes, not understanding what was happening. Only Ji seemed to realize that Tai had done something important. When just 12 high-ranking Dury remained, Judge Ju spoke again. His voice was cold and dangerous. How does this specimen know that name? Who taught it our language? No one taught me, Ta said. I learned by listening for 10 years while you thought I was too stupid to understand. One of the Dury officials stepped forward. This is impossible. Humans don't have the brain capacity to learn our language without teaching. You've been wrong about humans from the start, Ta said. We're not the simple creatures you think we are. Judge Ju came down from his high seat. He walked slowly toward Tai, studying him like he was seeing him for the first time. What exactly do you think you know? Judge Ju asked. Ta stood straight. He was no longer pretending to be submissive. I know that you've been capturing human ships for more than 50 years. I know that our ship, the New Dawn *, didn't have an accident. You pulled it to your planet on purpose. The Dury officials looked at each other nervously. Judge Ju's face showed no emotion. I know that Earth sent rescue ships after us, and you destroyed them, Ta continued. I know that you're using humans for genetic experiments. You call it Project Harvester. Judge Ju circled Ta slowly. And if all this were true, what do you hope to achieve by saying it here? You are one human. We are many Dury. You're not just many Dury, Ta said. You're many Dury with a secret that other Dury might not like. This made Judge Ju stop. Explain. I've seen your public broadcasts, Ta said. Your people are told the humans and other species you've captured are primitive beings you're helping. They don't know you're kidnapping and experimenting on us. What would happen if they found out? A different Dury official stepped forward angrily. This is why we should terminate all of them. They're too clever, too dangerous. And yet not clever enough. Judge Ju said, regaining his confidence. You've revealed your knowledge too soon, human. Now we can simply eliminate you and any others who might know. Ta smiled for the first time. It's too late for that. What do you mean? Judge Ju demanded. Did you think I would risk everything without a plan? Ta asked. I've already shared what I know with others. Not just humans either. This was only partly true. Ta had told Ji some of what he'd learned, but he hadn't been able to share the full truth with anyone else. Judge Ju's eyes narrowed. You're lying. Am I? Ta asked. You didn't think I could learn your language. You didn't think I could access your computer systems. You've been underestimating humans from the beginning. That was your first mistake. One of the officials whispered something to Judge Ju. The judge looked worried for a moment, then nodded. Take this human to the secure holding area, Judge Ju ordered. We need to question it properly. 2 guards moved to grab Ta. Wait, Ta said quickly. Don't you want to know how many others know about Project Harvester? Don't you want to know who I've told? The guards stopped, looking at Judge Ju for direction. Judge Ju waved them back. Very well. Tell us. First, release the other humans scheduled for termination, Ta demanded. Especially her, he pointed to Ju. You are not in a position to make demands, Judge Ju said coldly. Aren't I? Ta challenged. Every minute we stand here talking, your secret could be spreading. Can you afford to take that risk? Judge Ju stared at Ta for a long moment. Then he nodded to the guards. Release the female human. The others remain in custody. The guards moved to Ji and unlocked her restraints. She looked at Ta with confusion and hope in her eyes. Come here, Ta said to her in human language. Ji walked slowly to stand beside Ta. She was thin and had bruises on her arms, but her eyes were clear and alert. What's happening? She whispered. I'm trying to save us, Ta whispered back. Judge Ju made an impatient sound. Enough. Tell us who else knows about Project Harvester. First, I want to know what happened to me, Ta said. And the others who disappeared. A tense silence filled the room. Finally, one of the officials spoke. The female subject designated May did not survive the genetic extraction procedure, he said clinically. Her body could not withstand the process. Todd felt a wave of grief and anger, but he forced himself to stay calm. He needed to keep thinking clearly. And the others? He asked. Some survived, some didn't, Judge Ju said dismissively. It's not important. What is important is who you've told about our operation. Todd looked at Jai. She was crying silently for their lost friend. I've told the other workers in Sector 7, Todd lied smoothly, and the human who delivers food to the Dury homes. She speaks to many Dury civilians every day. This caused a stir among the officials. Judge Ju's face darkened with anger. That's not all, Tai continued. I also told the Krell worker who fixes your ships. This was an even bigger lie. The Krell were another alien species the Dury had captured. They mostly kept the different species separate, but Tai had seen Krell workers occasionally. Impossible, one official shouted. The human living areas and Krell living areas are completely separate. Are they? Tai asked with a small smile. Maybe you should check your security systems more carefully. Judge Ju slammed his hand on a nearby table. Enough. This specimen is trying to create confusion. We need to conduct a full security review and contain this situation immediately. He turned to the guards. Take these 2 humans to the high-security holding cell. Post extra guards. No one speaks to them except me. As the guards grabbed Tai and Ji, Judge Ju leaned close to Ta. You've bought yourself some time, human, but nothing more. When we discover you're lying, your death will be very slow. Ta met his eyes without fear. If I don't report to certain people at certain times, everything I know will be shared widely. You can't stop it. For a moment, doubt flickered in Judge Ju's eyes. That was all Ta needed to see. His bluff was working. The guards led Tai and Ji through long corridors to a small windowless cell. They were pushed inside, and the heavy door locked behind them. "Are you okay?" Tai asked Ji once they were alone. Ji nodded weakly. "What did you do? How do you know their language?" "I've been learning it secretly for years," Tai explained. "And I found information about something called Project Harvester. It's their plan to use humans for genetic experiments." "Me," Ji whispered sadly. "That's what happened to her." "Yes," Ta said. His voice was heavy with sorrow. "But I think I bought us some time. They're scared now." "But what happens next?" Ji asked. "You were bluffing about telling others, weren't you?" Ta nodded. "Mostly, but not entirely. There's something I didn't tell you before, something I found in the Duri computer system." "What is it?" Ji asked. "There are other humans," Ta said, "not from our ship. Survivors from earlier ships. The Duri keep them separate from us. And some of them have been working against the Duri for years." Ji's eyes widened. "How do you know this?" "I found messages in the system, warnings about human resistance activities. The Duri have been hunting for them, but haven't caught them all." "Can we contact them?" Ji asked, hope returning to her voice. "I don't know," Tai admitted. "But the Duri are scared enough now that they might make mistakes, and when they do, we'll be ready," Ji finished. Ta nodded and took her hand. They sat together in the silent cell, waiting. The tribunal had not gone exactly as Tai had planned, but he had accomplished one important thing. He had planted seeds of doubt and fear among the Duri leaders. Now they just had to stay alive long enough for those seeds to grow. 3 days passed. Tai and Ji remained in the small cell. Guards brought them food and water, but no one spoke to them. They were watching and waiting, just as Tai and Ji were. "Do you think they believed your bluff?" Ji asked on the third night. They sat close together on the hard floor, speaking in whispers. "I don't know," Tai admitted, "but they haven't killed us yet. That's something." "What happens if they decide you were lying?" Ji asked. Tai didn't answer. They both knew what would happen. On the morning of the 4th day, the cell door opened. 4 guards entered, followed by Judge Ju himself. His blue face was hard to read, but his eyes were cold. "You will come with me," he said to Tai in the Duri language. "Alone." Ta stood. "What about her?" "The female stays here," Judge Ju said. "Her safety depends on your cooperation." Ta looked at Jai. "I'll be back," he promised in human language. The guards surrounded Ta and led him out. They walked through corridors he had never seen before, going deeper into the Duri complex. Finally, they entered a large round room with a table in the center. Around the table sat the highest-ranking Duri officials. "Sit," Judge Ju ordered, pointing to a single chair facing the table. Tai sat. He kept his face calm, though his heart was racing. One of the officials, with darker blue skin than the others, spoke first. "I am Chief Commander Jun. We have spent the last 3 days investigating your claims." Todd waited silently. "We have found no evidence that you shared information about Project Harvester with anyone," Commander Jun continued. "The Krell workers have been questioned. The human food servers have been questioned. No one knows anything." Todd kept his expression neutral. "Maybe you didn't question the right people." Judge Ju slammed his hand on the table. "Stop this game. You lied to save yourself and the female. There is no human resistance. No one else knows about Project Harvester." Ta looked directly at Judge Ju. "You're partly right. I did lie about some things to protect Ji. But you're wrong about there being no resistance." He turned to the other officials. "Have you checked entry point 17 in Sector 4 recently? Or the communication relays in the West Tower?" Commander Jun's eyes narrowed. "What do you know about those locations?" "I know they've been accessed by unauthorized users," Ta said. This was another guess, but based on bits of information he had gathered over years. An official Ta didn't recognize pressed something on the table. A screen appeared in the air above them, showing security footage. The official studied it, then looked up in alarm. He's right. Entry point 17 shows signs of tampering. Commander Jun stood up. Check the West Tower. Now. The room filled with tension as they waited. After a few minutes, the official reported back. The communication relay in the West Tower was accessed 3 days ago. Someone sent a message off-planet. All eyes turned to Ta. That wasn't me, Ta said honestly. I've been in your cell for 3 days, but like I told you, I'm not the only one who knows your secrets. Judge Ju looked shaken. This is impossible. We control everything. No, Ta said firmly. You think you control everything. That's your biggest mistake. Commander Jun studied Ta with new interest. Perhaps we have underestimated these humans. I've been saying that for years, said another official, a female Duri with lighter blue skin. Our research shows their adaptability is extraordinary. We should have been more careful. Judge Ju wasn't ready to give up. Even if there are some rogue elements, we can crush them. We have superior technology, superior strength, superior arrogance. Tai interrupted. You think you're better than humans in every way. But while you were watching us like simple animals, we were learning, adapting, finding your weaknesses. The room fell silent. What do you want? Commander Jun finally asked. This was the question Tai had been waiting for. I want freedom for all humans. I want the experiments to stop. I want us to be treated as equals. Judge Ju laughed harshly. Impossible. Humans could never be our equals. Then I want nothing from you, Ta said calmly. Because soon, you'll have nothing to give. Before Judge Ju could respond, the lights in the room flickered. Then an alarm began to sound. The officials looked around in confusion. The door to the room burst open. A guard rushed in, his face showing fear. Commander, we have multiple security breaches throughout the complex. The human living areas, they're empty. What do you mean, empty? Judge Ju demanded. The humans are gone. All of them, the guard said. And the Krell workers too. The outer gates have been compromised. Commander Jun turned to Ta. What have you done? Ta was as surprised as they were, but he didn't show it. I told you. You're not the only ones with a plan. Suddenly, the large screen in the room activated by itself. A face appeared, a human face. It was an older man with gray hair and weathered skin. Ta had never seen him before. Greetings, Duri officials, the man said in perfect Duri language. My name is Su. I represent the United Resistance of Captured Species. Judge Ju stared at the screen in shock. How did you access our secure channel? The man named Su smiled. We've had access to your systems for years. Just as you've had secrets from your own people, we've had secrets from you. What is the meaning of this? Commander Jun demanded. It's quite simple, Su replied. Your rule over us is ending today. We have disabled your security systems. We have freed all captive humans and Krell from their living areas. And we have sent messages to your civilian population revealing the truth about Project Harvester. The officials looked at each other in alarm. Judge Ju's face had turned pale gray again. That's not all, Su continued. 3 days ago, we received a very interesting message about a human named Ta who spoke up in court. It confirmed what we'd suspected, that the younger generation of humans was finally learning the truth. Tai realized what had happened. His words in the tribunal had reached the resistance somehow. Perhaps there had been a spy among the Duri officials. Who are you? Tai asked the man on the screen. Su smiled. I was the chief engineer on the Horizon Asterisk, the first human ship captured by the Duri 52 years ago. Some of us escaped the initial capture. We've been building the resistance ever since, waiting for the right moment. This is sedition. Judge Ju shouted. You will all be executed for this. I don't think so, Su said calmly. Your military leaders are currently meeting with representatives from all captive species, and your civilian population is surrounding your government buildings. They're not happy about being lied to for decades. The door burst open again. More guards entered, but these guards were different. They were accompanied by humans and Krell. One of the humans was G. "Ta," she cried, running to him. "It's happening. We're free." "How did you get out?" Tai asked, amazed. "They came for me," G said, pointing to the guards. "They said they're part of something called the Reform Movement. Many Duri have been working against their own government." One of the Duri guards stepped forward. "We've suspected the truth about Project Harvester for years, but we couldn't prove it. Then we intercepted communications about a human who spoke up in court. It was the proof we needed." Commander Jun stood slowly. "This is a mistake. Humans are not ready for freedom. They need our guidance." "You mean your control," Tai interrupted. "And you're wrong. We've always been ready for freedom. You just didn't want to see it." The man named Su spoke again from the screen. "Judge Ju and those directly involved in Project Harvester will be tried for crimes against sentient beings. The rest of you have a choice. Help us build a new society of equals, or face the consequences of your actions." Judge Ju looked around wildly, then made a sudden move for the door. The guards blocked his way. "It's over, Judge," Ta said quietly. "Project Harvester is over." In the days that followed, the Duri world changed completely. The truth about Project Harvester shocked most Duri citizens. A new government formed, made up of representatives from all species. Todd worked closely with Sue and the other resistance leaders. They learned that there were humans from 5 different ships living on the planet. Some had been there for decades, secretly working against the Duri government. 1 month after the uprising, they received a signal from space. Earth had been sending ships to search for the lost colonies for years. One of these ships had finally picked up the Resistance's message. "They're coming for us," she told Ta excitedly. "We can go home." Ta looked around at the new council chamber, where humans, Krell, and reformed Duri were working together. "Some might go home," he said, "but I think we've built something important here, something worth staying for." Ji took his hand. "A place where no one is judged by how they look or where they come from." "Exactly," Ta said. "It took 2 words to begin the change. 2 words that a judge never expected to hear from someone he thought was beneath him." "Project Harvester," Jay whispered. 2 words that changed everything, Tai agreed, and proved that no one should ever be underestimated. When the Earth ships arrived 6 months later, they found not a lost colony needing rescue, but a thriving new society. Many humans chose to return to Earth, but many others, including Tai and Ji, decided to stay. They had work to do, building a world where no one would ever be caged, experimented on, or judged by their appearance again. A world where 2 words spoken by an unexpected voice could bring down an empire of injustice. And when the story was told years later, it always began the same way. Remember the abused black kid who interrupted a judge in court and said 2 words that made the judge turn pale?